Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get somewhere and get situated. Running a couple of minutes behind. It is only 7:02 here, but here is a look at my view, which I love. So the sun is already kind of slowly risen, and I am getting ready to start. So, one second. But isn't this view amazing? Yeah, it is. If I do say so myself. Okay, making my way to the beach. That gives people some nice views to watch until a few people get on. And then I am going to get started. So hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Hello. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get started. I was trying to find somewhere to get situated, so I'll just get situated right here. And connection here. Okay, so that was my view this morning. Hello. Not connecting very well. Let me move closer to the resort so maybe I can get some better service vibes going on here. All right, hopefully this is better. No, not better. We're gonna roll with it. All right, I'm gonna give a couple of minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know most people catch the replay. If you're on my list, you'll see this email, the full replay. Before I take it off, the service isn't that good over here. Oh, and it's better here. Gotcha. One seat away and it's better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know that I have a lot of you guys that'll catch the replay. That is totally okay. If you're on my list, you'll get the replay in your email. So we're gonna go ahead and get started today. So it is literally only 7:05 here. So this is the perfect time because my husband is working now, and then we'll get our day started. So first I want to introduce who I am. My name is Fatima Barnes, and I am a business coach to the beauty brands, and I help beauty brands that are struggling to grow relaunch to a premium beauty brand that can charge what they're worth, make the money they desire, design the life they truly want by using the power of a full business makeover overhaul from top to bottom so that you can finally charge the prices that you should be charging and really helping you get there. So that is my goal. Hello. All right, so that's who I am. If you want to learn more about me, feel free to click that link in the bio. So today we're going to talk about the phrase charge what you're worth, right? We hear that a lot. Charge what you're worth, charge what you're worth, charge what you're worth. But we hear it so much, we don't have a lot of context around what that saying actually means. And then I feel like, good morning, that phrase is so overused or misused, let's just put it that way. Because when they say that, they never give you the full scale context behind charge what you're worth and what that actually means. Okay, let me step back because the last time I was too close to the camera, and then when I had to condense it, it wasn't showing up right. So they say, charge what you're worth, but they don't ever give the full context behind what that phrase means. So we're going to really get into that today. Okay, so first you got to understand the difference between cost, price, and value. Okay, that's where we need to start this conversation at. So your cost is literally what it costs you for that product or service, right? That is your cost. Your price is what you are going to charge others, and value usually has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with what other people on the outside perceive or value your brand at, per se. In this context, that's how we're going to use it. So you have price, cost, and value. So when people say, charge what you're worth, they don't ever kind of break that concept down. And then we're going to go from there to say, now that you understand that, you need to understand the value piece of this is more so about perceived value, okay? Perceived value is the way that people who do not know anything about you or your brand, hello everyone, what do they perceive the value to be? For instance, one person may perceive Walmart as a certain way versus is perceiving Target another way. That is the perceived value of those brands, okay? That usually has, again, nothing to do with you. So when we talk about charging what you're worth, we want to also talk about the hamster wheel that comes with not being priced right, meaning you're not considering cost, price, and value. You're not considering all three of those in your pricing strategies. And so you get on this hamster wheel of emotional pricing, and you're just throwing a number out there of what you guess that you should charge your product for, and then you sell it, and then you literally are barely breaking even, and now you only are just making just enough money to buy more product. And now you're in this hamster wheel. You can't even invest in your business at a real level. You can't even grow. You can't invest in growing at a real level because you're literally only just making just enough money to buy more products, and you can't even pay yourself. And if you're in business to make profit. And if you're not making profit, it's a hobby, first and foremost. So let's just start there. So that is why we first have to kind of define those concepts before we really get into talking more about the saying charge what you're worth and why it's misused. Okay, so you're probably on a hamster wheel of pricing. You're probably going back and forth with, you're barely just making enough money because you're probably not charged price right. But even if you charge more, you have to ask yourself, can you charge more? Should you actually be charging more? And that is where the charge where your worth comes in at. But again, most people don't understand. So let's first go into this. I'll give you an example. Louis Vuitton, probably the cost of making that bag may be $100. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? That is the cost. Their price is that it's over $2,000 for most of the bags. You can find some that's $1K, but that's the cost. So it only took them about $100 to make the bag. The cost of that bag for you is, or the price is what it is. The perceived value is that no one complains about the fact that they're charging $2K for a $100 bag, right? Why? Because they have worked to build up the perceived value of that brand and their branding and everything that they do, the level of service. And I've bought plenty of Louis Vuitton bags, and their service is also top notch, right? So nobody says, "Ooh, that bag is too much." They say, "I can't afford it, so I need to either A, not get it because it's not in my price range, not for me," or they say B, "I'm gonna save for it," or C, "I'm gonna work until I can get it," and so forth, right? That is what perceived value really means. It is using Louis Vuitton as an example of they've done a great job of their perceived value of their brand, and that is the thing. So here's the real bottom line. Let me just say this: if you don't invest in your business, okay, we can tell, and we're not gonna pay if you haven't invested in your business, right? If you haven't invested in your business, then no one's going to invest in your business, meaning they're not going to buy, okay? And it is very apparent when someone hasn't invested in their business. It is truly apparent. We can tell when someone hasn't truly invested in their business at a real level. Therefore, our perceived value of what we perceive your brand to be at is why people don't want to pay what you're actually worth. So we're going to get into some things about that because I want to make it very, very clear for you guys. People are probably complaining about your price and not willing to pay you what you're actually worth because you, one, probably have not done a good job of highlighting why they should, okay? Why should I, in the example of Louis Vuitton, why should I buy a Louis Vuitton instead of buying this Walmart Y'all hear me now? Someone tried to call me in the middle of it, and that might be why. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, let me move seats because I only have like 2 Wi-Fi bars over here. So now can y'all hear me? So I was on go. Okay, what about now? Can y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me now, because I have 5 full bars now. I probably have to stand up and do this. So let me know if I'm still frozen. Ooh, technology. I know what that's about. So I'm assuming y'all still can't hear me. Okay, got it. I'm back. Yeah, I have 5 full bars now. Okay, perfect. So I don't know what's the last thing y'all heard, but I know for sure I was saying that your products, right? You may have, let's start with products. Your products may not be up to full standard. And even if your products are, okay, this is the tricky part. You can have the best products in the world, but if you have not highlighted why someone should buy from you versus someone else, like in the example of Louis Vuitton where we talked about someone spending $2,000 for a bag versus $100 for a bag. You can get a bag for $100 or you can spend $2,000, but it is the value that is perceived in that. So that is kind of the same concept. If your products aren't up to standards, and even if they are, you have not highlighted that they are, and you have not put that perceived value into it, people are not going to buy, and they're not going to want to pay what you feel that you're worth, because at that point it's just an emotional thing. You're just feeling that it's worth that much, but you have not done your part to say it is worth that, and you can see why, right? You have to highlight that they are, because if not, someone is going to pay more from someone else similar for a similar product or service as yours, and they're going to pay them easily. They're going to easily pay them more because they have perceived that value, right? So someone can have products that's not even as good as yours, but people are paying premium for it because they've highlighted why they should. So that's first and foremost, meaning you need to tell me why your product over someone else's. And it needs to be very clear the moment I see your product, okay? If I don't see that, I'm not going to buy and pay premium for it. Secondly, your service. Your service may be terrible. Okay, that's the second piece of that. And a lot of times, let me just be very clear. People will say, oh, service. Black businesses don't have services. The big piece of that is we don't have services because a lot of people aren't investing in their business at a real level to invest in quality service, to give quality service that matches what we feel that we're worth, okay? And what do I mean by that? That means that maybe your systems aren't up to par. That means that you don't have something in place to ensure that everything is flowing smooth. Okay, stepping back again. This Wi-Fi is so tricky, y'all. My service is not the best here on this particular part of the island. Okay, let me know if I'm still frozen, because it's that time of year where service just ain't gonna be right now. Oh, retrograde. That's what it is. Let me know. Am I still frozen? Okay. Are we good? Okay, good. Thanks. All right, so service. And the reason why I say service, a lot of people struggle to give poor service to give great service, and they give poor service because, one, they're probably trying to do everything. They probably have not invested in understanding how serious it is to have the right systems and have your business running like a well-oiled machine. Because if your business is running like a well-oiled machine, service levels will not fall because of it. And so if your service isn't up to par, You can't charge what you feel that you're worth. Again, that's just an emotional based type pricing at that point. If you're you can't give quality service. People have to wait 30 million days to get their products, or get a response from you, and you have no policies clearly written on your website. We don't know what's going on. Like, we don't know if we'll be able to hear from you. We don't know anything, right? And so if that is the case, people are not going to perceive it as they need to. Okay, and that suffers. And the reason why a lot of black businesses in particular suffer with service levels, again, the lack of investing at a real level to have the right systems in place so that we can do that. And that is where we usually go wrong. Okay, and sometimes it's not a reflection on you. It's just that you truly do not know what it takes to truly run your business at that way, at that scale, because we were not taught that, most of us. So therefore, service levels suffer, and it has nothing to do with your lack of, I don't care about my business, or I don't love my business, or I don't love my customers. We just legitimately you're probably juggling a 9 to 5 and trying to figure this stuff out, and you don't have the right systems in place to do so. And that is where you suffer. Then the next piece of that is that they don't tell you about charging with your worth, is that your branding has to match. Okay, and branding, again, isn't just how your business looks, right? It isn't just how it looks or feels. In that sense, it's so much more that goes into branding. But I will say this: do you have a website? If you have a website, how easy is it? How easy is it to use? Can I tell that you're running this business from your home? Right? Most people are running their businesses from home, right? And that is totally normal. But can I tell? Do I look at your business and I'm like, wow, this looks like a large brand, right? This looks like a regular large brand. That it's a perceived thing, right? Branding is the biggest difference between someone paying $2,000 versus $100, right? It's all in your branding, and it's not just how it looks. It's so much more that goes into it. But does it operate? Does it feel? How does your brand, how does it look? Does it look homemade? Just because it's homemade, that doesn't mean that it has to look homemade. Okay, so how does that branding play a big part in that? That is very, very key. Without a true branding strategy, that you can't just quote unquote charge what you're worth, right? You may be worth it, but that don't mean that you should be charging that, because people aren't going to pay, because they're not going to perceive it. People are not going to pay premium prices. Do you have social proof? Who's used your products? Who has used your products? Do you have reviews? Can I see clearly what transformation that I'm going to get? Do your brand give me the feel that this is a luxury vibe, like worth paying it? Because that's the first and foremost part. Branding is that first impression. And so if your branding isn't up to par, even if you have the best product out, you're going to struggle to convert that into sales at a real level, at the level that you're looking for. And I'm talking about the level of being able to quit your job and do this full time. I'm talking about the level to make the kind of money that you can feed your family and you can build that wealth that you're looking to build. If your branding isn't on par, you're going to struggle to make it happen, because if it looks homemade, people are going to say, I'm going to pay homemade prices. They're not going to say, I want, and I see that it paused me, so I'm pausing with it. Okay, so therefore, we got to think about all of that. Do I have to cash app you to get my order? Do you have a processing system in place? Do you have a telephone number that I can reach you? Okay, all of that plays a part in your branding. Have you been featured anywhere? What is that? Like, not only does it look well done, but it looks like a brand that you would want to spend money for. And you know what those brands look like. You see them all the time. Walk down your local Target, Ulta, Max, Sephora. Like, all you got to do is look at that. You know what that looks like. You also know what that experience is like. You know that people will pay more to go to Ulta to buy makeup than Walmart, because Ulta is a certain level of experience. It is a certain perceived value that you have when you go to those stores, right? That is all branding. Branding is the difference, okay? Literally, branding is the difference. Then the last piece of that is marketing, okay? Your ideal customers probably don't even know that you exist. So even if you have all of the foundational work done, right? Even if you have this Do we know that you're there? What is your marketing strategy? Are you marketing like a big brand? Because there are ways that you can do this without being $1 million company. Do you have the marketing strategies to match that? Okay, so there's so much that goes into charging with your worth that people don't talk about, because then you get disappointed because you don't have branding, you don't have proper branding strategy, you don't have a proper pricing strategy, you don't have a proper marketing strategy, and then on top of that, your service levels don't match because you don't have systems in place. And then your feelings get hurt when people are like, they don't want to pay you what you're trying to charge, and you probably still price too low if we're gonna really keep it real. And they don't want to pay you because they feel as if it's not worth it. Even if you know your product is A1, they may not feel that it's worth it. So understanding charging what you're worth is more about how you're perceived as a business than how you perceive it. It's more how your ideal customers perceive it if you know who they are. Okay? And so that is why I wanted to address the charge what you're worth, because I see it all the time. I hear it all the time, and I agree, you should definitely charge what you're worth, but you have to back it up. You have to give the people a reason to pay you what you're worth and pay you premium. You have to work for it. Customers aren't just going to fall in your lap paying premium prices. It just doesn't work like that. They're not going to fall in your lap. They're not going to come at a real level. I'm talking about a grand level again, not thinking small. They're not going to do that at a real level if you don't give them a reason to. Okay, if you don't give them a reason to, you probably need to rebrand, relaunch. You probably need a full business makeover if you're constantly hearing you're charged too much, I don't want to pay that, or ooh, that's too high, and they don't buy. It's a difference in, ooh, that's high, but I'm gonna come back when I get the money. That's a difference. Okay, I hear that all the time. You're on my save list. I'm saving to pay for you, because I give value. I give a perceived value, and you have to do the same in your business, no matter the industry. Okay, you want people to say, "Oh, I'm gonna save for that." Then, "Ooh, when I get my check, I'm coming back to you." And it's very hard to get that if your brand and if everything about your business isn't up to par. So yes, charge what you're worth, but let's not overuse it. Some people throw that out there and their business is not up to standard. And some people will support you, yes, simply because it's you and they like you personally, and that's great. But I'm talking about when you want to expand at a real level. I'm talking about, again, that kind of money that you feed your family, that you quit your job, the whole nine. If you want to expand at that level, you're going to have to take it up a notch, because people don't invest in people who don't invest in themselves. If I looked like I didn't invest in myself, you wouldn't invest in me. People wouldn't invest in me to help them. Okay? So that is the biggest piece. Okay? So let's think about that before we do that. And the biggest piece of that is you need to set the proper foundations first and foremost in your business, so that you can actually identify who you actually even need to be targeting at a real level, and that you can stick to what they need, what they perceive, what they want, and you base everything around them. Your foundation is key. Your foundation is where we're able to distinguish the difference between you and somebody else. Okay? So setting the proper foundation is key. Having a clear branding and messaging strategy is extra key when it comes to perceived pricing, okay, and the cost that you want to pay, you want to charge people, and the pricing that you want to charge people. Everything has to do with that. Your service levels has to be up to par, okay, and a real pricing strategy has to be created at a real level so that you can charge what you're worth and actually put money back into your business to invest and pay yourself, because that is the goal. Okay, you want to be able to do this to feed your families. Okay, and then you want marketing. How are you going to actually visually push your product out there in a way that people perceive you to be larger than life? That is the goal. Your brand has to appear larger than life, and you do that with marketing. All of those ingredients combined is what it takes to charge what you're worth, but most people are missing ingredients, and that is where that term is overused. Okay, because I want to pay you what you're worth, but I need to know that I'm going to get my money's worth, and that's where your customers are. They want to know that they're going to get their money's worth, or else they're going to just say, I'll go to Sephora. I'll go to Ulta. We don't want them to do that to you. So get the right ingredients together, okay? Get the right ingredients so that you can actually charge what you are worth, because you are worth it. You just have to let them see that, okay? You just have to set your business up so that your customers perceive it that way as well, so that it's not an emotional decision, right? I saw that it paused me, so I stopped. It's not an emotional thing, okay? You want to make sure, get your emotions out of it, get your business up to par. Charge what you're worth, make the money you deserve so you can have the life that you truly desire, whatever that looks like, okay? So if you are someone who is tired of struggling in that department, you want to be able to charge what you're worth. You don't even know what that is, how you should even set it up, what you should do to get the systems going, how you should do any of this kind of stuff. Do me a favor and click that link in the bio and book your breakthrough session. I know a couple of you guys on here have already booked the session. Great. Book that breakthrough session today. Get on my calendar. October is booking up. I know the first half for sure is getting pretty booked. So find you some space on my calendar. Let's talk about how we can help you at the Ambition Academy at a real level. My team is standing by. We're all ready to assist you. We are going to give you great service. Yes, yours is on the 8th. I can't wait to talk to you then. If you're not on my calendar, you need to be on there, okay? Trust me, because what you do now is going to prepare you for 2020. I'm pausing because it said it was pausing it. Yeah, what you do now, the seeds that you plant are for 2022. You gotta invest at a real level to get your business up to standard. Your brand can look like $1 million without spending $1 million. Yes, I see some more of you guys saying you're already booked. I cannot wait to talk to you guys. If you are not booked and you are on this live, be sure to get on my calendar, because I book up pretty fast and you want to start preparing now. You want to start planting seeds positively for 2022's results, right? Because the seeds that you plant, they take time. You don't see the fruit right away. You got to start planting those seeds now so that you can see the fruit. And if you don't have a plan in place to do that, you need to get one. So if you need somebody to help you get there and you're ready at a real level to say, I want to take my brand up a notch so that I can charge what I work, so I can quit my job, so I can be in Hawaii working, doing what I love, right? You want to get on my calendar. You want to book a spot. I can't wait to talk to those who are already booked. Let's do this. It's time to stop playing small. 2022 is supposed to be your year. We can't keep going around saying this gonna be my year, this gonna be my year, and we're not doing something different. We're not doing something different. We got to do something different, okay? Let's get out of the hamster wheel of constantly barely breaking even in your business. People don't want to spend with you. People don't want to pay. Again, nobody's going to invest in you if they haven't seen that you have invested. And it's very clear which brands have invested at a real level. So let's do this. Let's start planting those seeds. 2022 is going to be a great year for those who are making those steps now. So if that's you and you haven't already booked a call, thank you, ladies who have already booked a call. I cannot wait to talk to y'all. If you haven't booked a call, get on my calendar. Let's do this, okay? Let's do this. Let's make 2022 the year that you take your business to the next level, that you quit your jobs, okay? That's what we want. So I will talk to you guys next week. I still have some. It paused me again. I still have some more time here in Hawaii, but when I get back, it's on. I'm ready. I'm hungry. I hope y'all are hungry, because we gonna eat in 2022, ladies. We gonna eat. So let's do something different. Oh, girl, I love that. 2022 equal balance. Exactly. And one thing I love is some numerology, and that's what we need to find. We need to find that balance. And right now, your businesses are probably working you to death as opposed to you working on your business. Okay, we want to make it balanced out. Okay, we want to balance it out so that you can, it keeps pausing me, so that you can actually enjoy your business that you love so much. So let's do this. I will talk to y'all next week, ladies. Bye.